Have to watch what you say.
Well, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's 6 o'clock. We are right on time. And so, anybody have any additions to the agenda? If not,
I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Presentation is just.
You're doing public, so you're okay, right?
What number then?
number 2. Number 3, we've got any delegations?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh,
That'll be the public presentation.
okay.
Well, there's no delegations. So
No, public presentations then.
now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tej Sarat, and I'm currently renting a 1-bedroom basement apartment at the Hanna airport from the town of Hanna. First and foremost, I would like to thank for the opportunity to speak here and on this matter, and I believe it's worthy of your thoughtful consideration. A few weeks ago, I was informed that my rent from my basement unit would be increased by 22%. And I must admit, I was quite taken back by the magnitude of this proposal.
Can you speak up a little bit, Tosh?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That said, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Martin for his understanding and willingness to engage in conversation. Thanks to his efforts, the proposed increase was revised to 17.5% rather than 22%, which I acknowledge and I'm grateful for. However, I still believe the 17.5 increase in a single step is excessive, particularly when viewed in the context of the current rental situation in Hanna. If you can go to the next slide. So this is some rental advertisement I got from Facebook. So you can see the Abbey, that's one of the nicest place to rent in Hanna, I believe. 2-bedroom apartment or basement one apartment available for $800. And the 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony, $850 a month. And I've put the source down there. You can just go online and check it.
Sorry, I just want to, I did reach out to her, the owner of the Abbey, and she did confirm they have no vacancies. There's nothing available. The pricing's right, but there's nothing available.
Yeah, but I got it from the Facebook. So I'm just going to let you know what's the rates going on in the Hanna right now. Then when we move to can we move to this? Yeah, so it's a basement. It's so basement are always cheaper to rent, 20 to 25% rather than apartment when you compare to the apartment. So it should be cheaper than the already listed price. Next slide. So it's also situated at the airport. It's a noisy place. AHS fixed wing air ambulances just come at night, middle of night, and they land. It's loud, and helicopters occasionally land out there. I'm like frequent times like helicopters just land at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's just loud, and it's not a correct environment I'm living in. And it's also public property where events are happens, and the members of the public just often visit just to use washroom out there. You can go to the next slide. So inflation rate, if you take a consideration of inflation, 2023, 2024, and the projected one combined, is around 8.5. So even if you compare it by the inflation, you cannot justify 17.5 increase. It is just what is right now they're proposing. Energy rates, it already come down by 60%, and they are projected that 2025 it's going to go back to 2024. So in energy, like I don't get any air conditioning. The basement does not have air conditioning. So I'm a single guy, doesn't use that much of electricity out there. Plus, I want to say I never had any complaints. Anything that get broken, I fix it myself. I'm a handy guy. I pay my rent before due date, and that's been a track record for how long I've been living out there. Yeah, and I respectfully ask the council to be considered the proposed increase. I'm not opposed to a reasonable rent adjustment. But I propose that the increase should be limited somewhere between 7.5 to 10. Which I believe is more in line with the current rental market situation. I appreciate your time, your attention, and your service to the community. Thank you again for allowing me to speak.
Anybody got any questions for Taj? Sandra?
So where did you move out there? What are you paying right now?
Sorry.
So it hasn't changed in 2 years. Right? And are you getting, do you have any benefits? Like, are you getting any inclusions, like as far as what else do you get with that cost?
Wow, it's included in that.
Okay, and, the fact that, you got basically, you don't have to pay for garbage disposal, you don't have to pay for, do you pay for water?
Yeah.
We have to pay for water, so there's a lot of things that you're also getting, but you're not being charged for within that 700. So what do you feel is a reasonable cost in each rate?
I believe I can understand increasing the rent. I believe it should be around 10%.
Dollar value, what do you feel you should be paying?
$50 to $70 increase per month.
So you think you should be paying some,
Around 750, 70, 770, something like that. The reason I'm saying, like, as I already showed, like in Abbey, you can get a 2-bedroom apartment, not basement one, for $800.
but there's nothing available, and so if you choose not to, if we choose not to do anything with those rates, what would you do? Would you relocate, or would you move, or what else is available for rental?
I have not looked into the ability of rental here, but I prefer not to know. But I'm just, my proposal here is just like, it's accessories. What I think.
Nothing has been increased in the last 3 years or
Yeah,
more.
that's what I'm saying.
So, there has to be somehow different cover, because everything is increasing substantially for us as well.
I totally understand that. That's why I'm saying, if you want to increase the rent, I agree, it should be proportional to the inflation. So inflation is combined for 3 years, it's 8.5. If you want to increase to 10%, I'm okay with that too.
I think in small communities, that doesn't really cut it as far as the inflation rate. It's what is available and what people are willing to pay.
Like, I kind of agree, but a few months ago, like, the 2-bedroom apartments were going on for $800 an hour.
Mhm.
Like, few weeks ago maybe. I've not checked it, whether or not, but that was listed on Facebook Marketplace.
And did that include power and water as well? Do you?
I think water, just power, you have to pay separate.
And so this facility that you're living in, I'm not really familiar with it, but is it just one little piece of space, your apartment, you go in it? Do you have access to the rest of the facility? Are you able to use it, and do you use it?
The rest of the facility.
Like, is there other rooms that you can use or have access to that you can?
You have access to upstairs.
I don't go there up upstairs. Actually, that's a community building, so generally it's for the pilots.
But you can go up there if there's nobody else in there, right?
Generally, people are out there. When the pilots comes in, they actually use that stuff. So it's not for me, it's for the pilots actually.
Do we know the square footage of your apartment? What is the square footage of your apartment?
I believe it's something between 700 and 800,
Okay.
but I'm not sure about it. Something between that.
And do you have internet?
I have my own personal internet. It's not provided by the.
It's not provided, okay. Yeah. So you don't pay for heat or for power?
Yeah.
Or water.
Or water, or
So-
garbage. I live in a commercial building. And I literally live in the garage of an embalming room that used to be a funeral home. And I don't even have a shower or a bathtub. I pay for my own internet and TV, and I have to haul all my garbage to the station all by myself because commercial buildings are not covered. But I understand your garbage gets picked up, so, and I pay $750, and it's extremely fair. Because there's nothing, the Abbey, over the next 2 years, I'd be shocked if they have one available. They're excellent management, they have beautiful rooms, and no one leaves. So you can come up with any price you want, but if there's nothing available, so you have to base it on what is available for 850 square feet or 800 square feet. With all those because the utilities alone, whether you're a single person, you could have 12 people in there. You have the right to. It's the same utilities, right? You don't pay extra for how much water you use or whatever. So to be honest, you're really, really fortunate. Do you have a shower or a bathtub? You have both?
I do have a bathtub.
I'm being envious right now because I've gone a year without having one. So I'm just saying that perhaps, even though it's valid that you have the right to ask, but perhaps if you base it on what's actually available, not what someone advertises isn't available, you might find that it's 1,200 on average for anything in Hanna right now. So I hope you stay happy there because it's pretty good.
I respect your opinion, but I said like few weeks ago, there was a 2-bedroom apartment listed off for $800. I have to pay for the power. For a single guy, I don't think it's gonna be more than $50.
Yeah.
And then I want to highlight that it's an airport building. It's out of town, it's remote a little bit, and it's also noisy. It's a public space that people just come by and do some washing. There's a difference.
Is it your private well? I don't.
Let Kyle go.
I just was like, we can have discussion if we choose after. I guess the options would be leave the rent at 700 or increase it to what we deem fit. Leave the agreement. I mean, the third option we could get, if you're willing to commit to it, if we could get a couple realtors that know what the market would be to go and look at the apartment and see what it's worth. Because I mean, we're not landlords. They would have an idea on the market. If we're willing to commit to that, they would choose a real market value, have a third party go in there. If you're willing to accept that.
And I don't know when you should go back.
Yeah,
That would be fair for everyone.
so we'll discuss that a little later. And that. Thanks, Cash. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'm just here for the show.
Okay. Martha, not tonight. I thought I had you penciled in.
Yes. I have a public presentation,
Oh, okay.
not as a counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Your name and organization.
my name is Hanna Golden. I'm a resident of Hanna. I'm here to share some information about the Alberta Air Tours that I've been involved with. And just to give you some sort of background information. And this is kind of some of the posters that we'll be putting up around. So Hanna will be having theirs. They contacted the Alberta, I believe my notes. The Alberta Air Tours contacted me in January of 2025 and asked if I would be interested in helping bring this event to Hanna. And then, of course, I was quite interested, and it will be at the Hanna Airport, June 21st. But that was after I had to check with the CAO, who are the owners of the building, and I did get in touch with the president of the Hanna Flying Club, and they were very interested as well. So we did come up, the common date that seemed to suit everybody's needs was June 21st. And we are the last stop of two others. So Vermilion and Flagstaff are also a part of this same day air tour. So at 2 p.m. Saturday, June 21st, general aviation aircraft will start arriving at the Hanna Municipal Airport. At 5 p.m., planes will start to depart. And this is all under the supervision of the Alberta Air Tours. They deal with everything to do with planes that will be participating. This is a community event where Alberta Air Tours will promote aviation careers through elevation aviation. And that's just trying to get the word out about careers in aviation to the youth. The Alberta Air Tours pilots will have their planes on display for the public to see up close, and they will also be available to answer any questions. And since the Hanna Airport is involved in emergency medical evacuation with fixed wings and with STARS helicopters, it seems suitable to invite first responders and possibly bring a related vehicle, where applicable, for public viewing to help promote their profession to the public as well. So far, I've contacted Hanna's RCMP, the Hanna Volunteer Fire Department, rural health professionals, Action Plan, EMS to date, and they all are very interested. And the ARPAC and EMS have provided commitments. The Hanna Flying Club contacted STARS, Halo, a medical response helicopter, and the Prairie Aviation Training School, who teaches flying lessons at Hanna's Airport. The town, Hanna Flying Club, and I've been working on this project with the Alberta Air Tours organizer for some time. The Hanna Chamber of Commerce and the Harvest Economic Development Corporation are considering sponsoring a free public barbecue to feed the pilots, firstly, and to attract and feed anybody that's in attendance. The whole event will be free, and we might be looking at a donation where any donations are donated either to the airport or to the Alberta Air Tours, because they're providing everything. They're providing all their fuel, they're not charging us, and they're bringing this opportunity for people to come to our airport and to see what it's all about. Career exploration and support will be shared by Elevation Aviation, founded in 2015, a national nonprofit organization focused on creating pathways for women and underrepresented groups in aviation. The organization aims to build a more diverse and inclusive future for the industry. Alberta Air Tours is one of their key rural outreach initiatives, bringing aviation to the doorsteps of smaller communities and providing valuable exposure to careers such as pilots, air traffic controllers, aircraft maintenance engineers, and more. And that's directly ordered from the AAT organizer. Hanna and surrounding communities are encouraged to bring the whole family and experience the thrill of aviation firsthand, as an anticipated 40 private planes fly in and take off. We hope to have a shuttle service for seniors to access that will provide transportation for those from the lodge and the manor as well. This is a free community event and is open to all to enjoy. Free barbecue, socialize, learn about aviation, first responders, and the Hanna Airport, and much more. And of course, this event will be weather dependent. If pilots are not able to fly, we may proceed with the event with the information that we have, or it may be canceled. So anybody have any questions? And I'm working on this as an individual and not as a town councillor. Did Mr. Margaret want to add anything? Or?
Yeah, there is a request that we supply tables and garbage bins on the day. So
Picnic to the
yeah. So Kevin said he could drop those off on the Friday and pick them up on the Monday. I don't think it's a big ask, but as it's not a town event, it's good to get council direction.
There'll need to be a lot of porta potties too.
No,
No? Okay.
the venue has washrooms to be for public use, I believe. And so the flying club will be looking after setting for parking where the public will organize, and there'll be an area that will be a no access zone where the planes when they fly in, will be kept back. And there'll be some emergency equipment there. And so they will have to be parked in such a way that if they are called, they will leave. And so it's only from 2 to 5. So we hope that the weather is good. And then it's a huge opportunity to share at airport and to also learn something. I did contact the superintendent of Pillar D and was very interested in having promoted to the schools within the region. And, I don't think we can get some others as well. I'm providing a bunch of tables, like large tables for the displays and, I think Rob is looking at getting the barbecue and has some leads on it. Going to help with that, so.
Sometimes, Sandra. Is there advertising? Is there posters up? Is there stuff that we can share?
Well, that. And so this is kind of like the poster that will go out.
Okay.
And so just keep an eye open for it. I just need the edited version again. She's changed the format. I think it's been better than the previous one. And so I'll be adding some of that information.
Perfect.
And hopefully we'll have some of the information perhaps on radio, Facebook for sure, posters, and the coffee break, the paper that we have, and I believe the town is also.
Our electronic newsletter has an article that will go out early next week,
Okay.
kind of introducing the event.
So everybody seems to be quite positive about it, so that's.
I will donate the show.
Okay. Thank you.
So thank you, Sandra. Mr. Moon, you have? Okay, we'll go to number 5, the minutes of the regular meeting of the council on April 8th, 2025. Kyle and Fred.
Only one, just need one. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to minutes of the special meeting of the council, April 30th.
Yeah, say all in favor.
Yeah.
Oh. Everybody, all in favor?
There we go.
Disgruntled.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, minutes of the special meeting of council on April 30th, 25. Fred and Angie, all in favor? Let's see. Carries. Okay, minutes of the information meeting of council on April 30th of 25. Got Fred. Okay, we'll just call it then. All in favor? Carried. And we got one opposed. Finance reports, the accounts payable. Is there any questions on that? I didn't find anything this time. So if not, can I find somebody there to move the?
Do them one by one, like checks.
Yes.
And-
I will do that.
Well, the council accepts the accounts payable listings from the general account for information checks. 043383 to 043393. Direct deposit. 3,974 to 4,045. Electronic transfers. Batch number 939 and 942. Do I have some? Sandra Murphy?
Mhm.
All in favor? Here. 6.02 statement of revenues and expenses for April of 25. Is there any questions? If not, the council accept the statement of revenue and expense reports for April 25 for the information. Angie moved. All in favor? There you go. 6.03, the budget overview of April of 25. Has anybody got any questions? If not, the council accepts the budget overview for April of 2025 for information. Kyle, All in favor? Carried. No adjournment now? Copy ready. Committee reports, the Community Service Board meeting on April 9th of 25. Has anybody got any questions or anything?
There was just a note on there, I think it was Kevin, facilities manager, just said rate and fee increase concerns. What were his concerns?
Yeah,
His concerns were why we just chose the adult section instead of everybody. That was his concern, you know, he just wondered why we just picked on the adult divisions instead of kids too.
Adults make more money than the kids.
But we explained to him, you know, the adults, you know, they're the kids, we've done year before, the adults we never really touched, so that was all his concern was.
Oh, okay.
And
Thank you.
the only other thing out of that meeting that was the big concern was the kiddies corner, and that was big concern of one of the parents that was here, so we explained to him what it was, so we brought it back to council, and we're going to deal with it later to see how it is first in the school, well, when they come back in September.
So I just while we're on that, so there's gonna be clarification, we're riding this through, because I was kind of surprised to see that, you know, PLRD is not guiding this, JC Sherritt School has made this decision and plan, and it seemed premature to dismantle the children, the staff, and even the location of the facility, to not have a plan in place. It's like, what's missing here?
That's what Ms. Westphal wanted to know, you know, why, you know, that's why it was brought back to town council, you know, because they'd already handed in their paperwork, notice that they were going to discontinue, and then they found out, you know, there is a lot more information they needed before they should have done that.
So if we find somebody to take residence in this space over the summer months, is that in fact happening, or we're just sitting idle until such a time that JC Sherritt School, from what this says, has a decision and a plan?
I think there was some discussion about it being converted into a weight room if that does happen, but yeah, it just sort of seems like they're putting the cart before the horse before they've gotten all the planning.
So I had a comment in my report too.
Yeah.
The Kitty's Corner executive expressed some concerns when they invited all of us to their meeting, hearing these comments, and they were quite off put by people talking about how they weren't prepared and nobody had a plan. And I was the only one from council that showed up.
Yeah.
And they talked about how a full year ago at that point at their AGM, they had talked about it. And the major issue is financials, right? It's about $350 per kid. The idea of Kitty's Corner is to make it affordable for play school. To make it work, they would have to hit about $900 to $1,000 per kid. So that's where it started, and just said this can't happen. So we're having these discussions. And they have, you know, a spot in the school that's planned for. The principal has been involved in 2 different schools that had a play school program in the public school. That's worked really well. I'm not going to quote all the benefits of it. You know, it was a good meeting. There were several parents there. Of course, concerns because it's not happened yet. I deemed it very similar to when, like, I got a kid and going into grade 12, I'm not really dealing with play school anymore. But the concerns were very similar to when they combined schools. And my little grade 4 kid, like, they had issues with these pre-K kids coming down the hallway. And it was very reminiscent of me thinking my grade 4 child is going to be out there and suddenly they're going to be smoking in the alley with these grade 12s. And I mean, those are the concerns that are there. They will do a good plan. They have their space in the school. They have a team, they're working on it. Big discussions on the PUF program, which I wasn't really well versed in it, but it's kids identified that have some kind of issues that need some help. when they're in the school, they can identify that sooner. And they have staff there to help with it. And yeah, it was a really good discussion. Mr. Rogus did commit to getting more information for all the parents and getting them back and having another meeting in several weeks. I don't think he had chosen a date yet, but of course, there's more information. There can never be enough information, honestly, because it's not done yet. But the executive was clear that they can't operate. It is too expensive. They can't tell parents to pay that price tag, unfortunately. That was their big concern. They got it started. And they also said from one, they're clear with the school. They can't tell them who to hire, but they strongly recommended Miss Maria still be involved with it, whether she chooses to at a school. I mean, with a unionized thing, when they hire somebody, you have to, go through the ones that are already there. But yeah, that was very clear from the executive, and they were very clear about.
You may mention that they had a meeting that the council were invited to come to. Was there, I don't recall getting.
Yeah, hit every one of our inboxes.
I didn't recall, I guess,
Yeah.
I don't recall getting that. I'm gonna have to search, but.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, when I read the minutes or the actual package and your comment in your report, I thought, well, what the heck? And then I happened to have another meeting that night, so I don't recall seeing it, but can you ask them to please invite us again? Because I would have gone.
Yeah, it was emailed
I
out
was
and
available.
social media, I know for sure, which doesn't always hit everybody, but
Through, as far as coming from City's Corner or coming from,
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
it was right from Ashley herself.
yeah, well,
And there's only so much. I don't think they're gonna go knock on everybody's door.
No, but if they
it
can
was
send-
emailed to us and it was sent out on,
yeah,
social
like, to be
media,
honest, I
which
don't.
is usually the standard of invites.
So if they could try again, I would definitely.
Yeah, well,
Or
absolutely,
attend
they will.
If
Yeah.
I am available
Yeah.
to, so, but I'd already committed with changes that we did have in, but.
Yeah, and I wish I could quote more. It was a good discussion.
Yeah, no, well, it's important discussion too, to have, because that site at the Centennial was built for them.
Yeah.
And it'll be a shame to have to do renovations if they will not be using it anymore, and
So just to clarify, whatever they pay for rent in that building was so high that each child should have to pay $900 a month just to cover their expenses because of the rent?
I don't
How
know if
much
it's
is the
solely
rent?
There's other costs you have to pay. So there's lots of supplies.
And all that goes away at the school?
Yeah, they're not gonna pay rent. I mean, the building's there.
But
An
everything,
EA is there.
okay. It just seems like moving.
I'm not
from-
part of that. I don't know all their
No.
financials. I just
No,
know
no.
that was their major concern, of course.
Just, it seems like a very high amount that every child has to pay that'll disappear by going from the community center to the school. That seems like a lot.
Sam?
and also, was there some mention too that they would not be able to apply for certain grants or subsidies or something if they go into the school? Was that in your report? Or
I don't know.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
thought there was something to do with that. I thought it was in yours.
If they keep the executive or the group, I mean, they would still have access to the casino. If that gets dissolved, which I hope they'd like to keep it just for that,
Just for
just for the $30,000 influx each time. But yeah, I'm not part of it. I was just there.
Yeah.
As an observer.
Thank you.
I moved on.
Yeah, I'm glad. The close reception later.
It's your culture, so I don't, just that seven.
Okay. Yeah, council accept, okay, it's the senior administrative official reports. We'll have the chief administrator.
No, we're in community services.
Community service. Okay,
I jumped ahead and
yeah,
messed it up.
oh, that's all right.
Just accept yours.
Accept my report for community service board. Somebody, Sandra Bowden, all in favor? Carries. Opposed? No.
Such a troublemaker today, Mr. Man.
Under senior administrative official reports, we'll have the chief administrative officer.
So through the chair to rest of council, it's been a very diverse few weeks since our last meeting. One of the most interesting things I did is I went to the Sheerness Industrial Park with Thomas just to see. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's going to be a massive development. That it's a lot of opportunity that's going to be coming there. So that was good.
My question, has any of those interested finalized and confirmed? Or not yet?
I think that's for Thomas to report on because he signed a lot of non-disclosure agreements. So,
And I imagine it has to be finalized through special areas as well too.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's like 90% there, if not already there on at least one of them. But that would be a Thomas question. Yeah, so we continue to work with the dogs, dangerous dogs, and unfortunately still have meetings with Burnley on certain issues. But yeah, if you've any questions.
Are they taking the dog away or is it still?
I believe 4 or 5 were taken away, but there is still some, and unfortunately, our bylaw officer has been unwell, so she's not been in. So hopefully she'll catch up when she gets back in.
Have they looked at charging this person for cruelty to animals?
I
Because there
don't
was
think
clear neglect.
I think our SPCA was there and said that there was none, that they were fine.
Mhm.
But I know that our bylaw officer has sent some fines to her. So we'll see where they go. But the goal is to get rid of the dogs more than anything. So we're trying our best.
So we still have a bylaw.
Yeah, she's just not been well. She has she's not had a.
But she's not moving on.
No, she wants to stay. We did talk about giving her that opportunity to become full-time with us and share with the town of Iron, but it just didn't work out
With Joanne or?
with her.
Okay.
So for the from the community services facilities manager, you can see that he's put in a lot of pictures in his report of the work that was done at the arena, so that like they're all pleased with that. It looks really good from how it was before when they couldn't shut the door.
Yeah.
So he's been busy over there as well with the dance floor, the rummage sale. So he's all good.
That curling rink was discussed, I think, my first term 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
That list, I'm happy to see it finally done. I'm glad he did that.
Just sort of putting a Band-Aid on it, like, what's the root of the problem of it? Is because just because we have a high water table or things shift or?
No, according to past date, and there was functions in there, dances and stuff. One of the urinals got kicked off, pulled off the wall, and the water ran underneath the floor and made a void. And they were worried about lifting the floor back or lifting the void up due to all the water lines and lines underneath it. And these guys were able somehow to get in there, find where the lines were, and they basically filled the void.
Okay.
So as they were jacking, they filled it so the floor won't sink anymore. And in doing so, it actually lifted. They didn't think they would be able to lift it to straighten the door out, and it was working, so they just kept going. So the door that couldn't close, that was on an angle, you can now close the door.
So did that affect the ceiling of it?
It affected a little bit because it dropped away and then pushed it up after there was some.
Yeah.
So they did some patch jobs. That's what Kevin's been doing. And he would know more if he was here, but that's just what he explained to us, was it was due to a urinal and water making a void underneath. So that should fix the problem.
Thank you.
So next is Michelle's report. I guess the biggest thing here is we have somebody planning our epic adventure stuff, so that's exciting that that's going to get done. And You can see all the events planned for Seniors Week, and I know that she's been working away at Canada Day plans as well, which are some time away.
And isn't there also, the mayor's, garden party too, that June did?
So Laurie can do her report next.
Need a motion on them, or
No.
we do that
It
one?
was just.
Yeah.
Just waiting. I don't have anything to add. It's been a busy time with some unique challenges. You'll start seeing, Katie has developed a promotion leading up to Alberta Rural Health Week. One of the things that she has done is taken some of the coloring pages provided by Alberta Rural Health to the school, and then each week she's picking them up, and you'll start seeing them in the town office, and at the end of it all, there'll be a draw for a prize. But we were pleased with the number of students that were participating and turning it back in. She's also collected some photographs of individuals in the community, so just send out a thanks, and rural health is alive and well in rural Alberta. So council will start seeing some of that.
Questions, we'll move on to the.
Brent's report.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing to add to my report. If there's any questions, we'll be on to answer.
I just going to ask y'all one thing there. Have you guys discussed anything with the special areas yet about municipal road and sewer?
I have got prices from Ross and I've got prices from Sean or from Brent Fico. I am supposed to have a meeting with Mr. Kovich this week. There's a way that we can work with special areas. There's a certain ask. And he wants to work with us to do that moving forward. Right now we're looking at chip sealing because they're working on Fox Lake Trail. So they would look at chip sealing from Palliser Trail to the VIC.
Yeah.
Brent Faco feels there's enough base there that we could put a solid lift on that. That's ballpark around 80 grand.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the road, we have discussed a lift of gravel and some calcium for this time.
Yeah.
But because they're here and they have the bigger equipment, Sean said, let's not miss the opportunity to work together. So
Yeah.
I have been working on it. I have got lots of stuff and I'm just waiting for Mr. Kovich to have a spare man to give me 15 or 2 of it.
Yeah. No, it'll look really good.
Brent, I did notice on here, that, you guys, were doing some work at the Catholic cemetery. Is that primarily, the town's?
It is
decision
not,
to-
but we work with the Catholic cemetery to dig their graves for them. And they pay for it, just like we would out there, but they just don't have anybody to do it. So we work with them. They work with Winona and we work with the funeral homes and things.
Okay, awesome, thank you. I didn't realize that. That makes sense, so that.
I don't know. You're always the person I ask stuff to because you always have answers. So when I was volunteering for the Elks for the Mother's Day breakfast,
Okay.
was in the kitchen, all the layout was great. And then they got that 2-foot tall little oven or stovetop, I guess it is, with the burners going, obviously like a pilot light. But it is literally 2 feet from the ground. You have 2 open flames completely exposed and had to stop 2 people from just plunking stuff down as they're walking in. I can't believe that passed Dave Mole. I don't know how he allowed that to happen.
That is an industrial kitchen. Those are there for lifting deep pots. You
Yeah.
don't have to lift them high.
Yeah.
And I voiced my concern about the open pilot light
Yeah.
and the heat it gives off.
The heat is unbelievable how much.
But it passed all of the fire regulations. That is a design kitchen and all the
Yes.
safety mechanisms are there for it.
No matter how much you try to control the crowd, we had at least 8 people come in the back door, because they always come in the back door, because this is Hannah and we love it here.
Yeah.
So they walk by with the child and she's, oh my God, don't touch that, because she was gonna burn her hand. So, okay,
Yeah,
it's gonna burn to the ground. I
It's
just,
a commercial kitchen and it's fast and,
oh my God.
yeah.
Okay.
Sandra.
I just had a question regarding the South Municipal Road. So those treatments you're talking about, are they new? Like something different, or has it been tried before?
Well, this chip seal is new. It's what they're putting out on Fox Lake and they put it on the way to Scapa. So it's an oil layer, and they chip seal it. Then they brush that off, and they reseal it, and then re-chip it. And they figure it take about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
To do.
Do they have any idea how long it might last, or
Just, no, probably 2 years, 3 years.
because underneath that?
That has more of a base than the rest of the road,
Mhm,
so that's why they're
trying that.
trying that.
What they'll do first, Sandra, is they'll dig it all down. And then we repack it, put gravel. It's the layered,
Yeah,
that's where the
but
time.
not just
consuming.
putting the stuff.
They just
on,
don't put the
it's
stuff on.
taking it
Yeah,
down and
they'll repack.
extra layer. Okay.
Yeah. Where that real soft spot is, that'll all be dug out and.
Okay.
And we did get a grant. I'm sure council knows that we got a grant to study our lagoon.
Yes.
So we had a meeting with MPE and Sarah today, and she says that we can do a study about adding sewer. And they can also do a study on paving, building the road up and everything in this $200,000 grant we have.
Oh,
They can use that as part of it because it's got a sewer line. So she is gonna work on getting us a number. We have till 2027.
Yeah,
But they're
Definitely
hoping to
the
be
sewer.
done by 26, so we should have an actual cost
Good.
by 26 and what it would cost to pave it, like to build it up, pave it, add sewer through the whole thing. So we will have that study and up to date. So this sort of information, we just found that out today.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Would they cover the whole lot, or it's a match of that?
No, we've already received the grant, so there was a grant out
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
to do the study. So this, again, it's a lot of money to do the study, but nothing to fix anything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a study, we'll find out what it costs and then.
Then we can plan,
But
right?
I can't remember if that money then that we got, did we have a match?
No, it was.
No,
Is
it's
that-
100%.
So I guess that was what my question was. Thank you.
If there's no other questions, council accept the senior administrative official reports 8.01 to 8.03 as presented for information. Angie. All in favor? Carried. Number 9, business items. 9.01, 2025 spring budget adjustment.
okay, through the chair to rest the council, before you is the amended 2025 operating and capital budget, along with the 3-year and 5-year financial plans. The original 2025 budget was approved in December of last year. Since then, administration has brought forward adjustments based on the updated assessment values, changes in requisitions, revised grant figures, and updated revenue and expenditure projections. This revised budget reflects council's direction to reduce the residential municipal tax rate by 4% and the non-residential tax rate by 2% from the 2024 levels, while maintaining a balanced budget. These changes result in a modest increase in overall tax revenue due to the area property assessment and allow us to transfer just over $59,000 to surplus. So we need you adopt the operating capital budget date of May 13, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Angie? All in favor? Carried.
Is that enough for you, Vanessa? Do you need all those read for approval?
until you read it out and then
Yeah,
you
okay.
understood everything, so. If Sandy wants to read it out.
Whereas council approved the 2025 operating capital budget for the town of Hanna at the December 10th, 2024 council meeting. And whereas adjustments to the adopted budget are required for various reasons prior to setting the 2025 tax rates. And whereas the 2025 operating capital budget has been adjusted to reflect a decrease of 4% change to the residential municipal tax rate from 2024, a 2% decrease to the non-residential municipal tax rate from 2024, and a transfer to surplus in the amount of $59,237. Therefore, council adopts the 2025 operating and capital budget dated May 13th, 2025, as amended by the spring budget adjustments, and accepts the 2026 and 2027, or 2026 and 2027 operating budgets and the 2026 to 2029 capital budget for information.
There's my.
Motion.
The motion was already
Yeah.
presented.
Made the
And
motion.
all in
All in
favor?
favor?
We got it.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Approved.
So good. Okay, the CS handyman update and decision.
Just give me a second, I gotta scroll through all this.
All the budget stuff,
Yeah.
there we go,
Yeah, 3 pages. Yeah.
page 135.
Okay, so again, through the chair and to council, Michelle's been looking to find somebody as directed by council to donate this van. So we expanded our reach beyond the town and she found 3 people who were interested, the village of Donalda, Board of City Connects in Westminster and the village of Riley. She's wrote some notes on what their programs are and she's made the recommendation that we gift the handy van to the village of Donalda to support the development of a new accessible transportation program in their community.
Beautiful. That's great.
Somebody make Sandra.
I would make that motion.
Okay,
I'm not
all in
reading it.
favor? All carried. Okay, the audit services.
And through the chair, on March 24th, we were directed to do an RFQ for audit services. We put that out, we contacted local companies. And we got 1 reply back, which was through our current chartered accountants, which is Ascend. So we're just looking for approval to audit that contract from 2025 to 2029.
Okay. Motion is that the council award contract for audited services for the fiscal years of 25 to 29 to Ascend LLP Chartered Professional Accountants as outlined in their submitted proposal dated May 1st of 25.
Just a comment, in regards to that, Mr. Mayor, is I think we're limited in regards to, chartered professional accountants that will even take on municipalities anymore.
Yeah.
So I think we're fortunate to have Ascend, take that on because I think from what I'm understanding more and more, there's less and less firms that are taking on, municipalities to do their funding, which
There's
is.
been a lot of municipalities this year that haven't been able to find somebody to do the role.
So I think we're thankful that we have Ascend and, yes, I'd be willing to with that motion if somebody else has not.
So we want to make that. Sandra Murphy, all in favor? Carried.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Before we move on, do we still have another business item? The young man that, had spoke regarding the rental situation.
We can put that on.
It was supposed to at the beginning. Well, you can direct me through email if you want, but it's not on the agenda.
So then just move on.
Yeah, keep going to
Okay. Under bylaws. 10.01 bylaw 1040 to 2025, the 2025 tax rate bylaw.
So through the chair, the bylaw 1040/2025 is the 2025 tax rate bylaw. It reflects the adjustments made to the 2025 operating and capital budgets, which council approved earlier this meeting. As discussed previously, property assessments have increased this year. In response, council have directed administration to reduce the municipal tax rate by 4% and the non-residential tax rate by 2%. These reductions are now incorporated into the bylaw. Despite the reduced tax rates, total municipal tax revenue will increase slightly due to higher assessments. The education requisition from the province has increased just over 80,000, resulting in a small rise in the educational tax rates for both residential and non-residential properties. The Acadia Foundation requisition, on the other end, has decreased slightly, lowering that component of the tax rate. Overall, most taxpayers will see only a minor changes in their tax bills. For example, based on a $200,000 assessment value, the average residential properties will see an increase of around $67 annually.
Okay, the council give first reading to bylaw 1040/2025, the 2025 tax rate bylaw. Kyle Olson, all in favor? Carried. The council gives second reading to bylaw 1040/2025, the 2025 tax rate bylaw. Fred Kroll, all in favor? Carried. That the council provide unanimous consent for the third reading of the bylaw 1040/2025, the 2025 tax rate bylaw at this meeting. The council give the third and final reading.
That's a motion.
Oh, okay. Sandra Murphy, all in favor? Carried. This guy didn't see it. Yeah. And the council give a third and final reading to the bylaw 1040/2025, the 2025 tax rate bylaw. Sandra Bowden, all in favor? Carried. I didn't see this. Okay, the council reports on the roundtable. Fred, have you got anything to change?
Yeah, I'd like to add in a few things, senior week, June 2nd to June 6th. I'm running the shuttle all that week,
Oh, wonderful.
the local route as such, but we'll be starting earlier probably, or running later or whatever. We're just gonna follow the schedule of whatever the event is, yeah.
Okay,
Just to clarify, Councillor Cole, that will be running every day that week, not just on Wednesday? Okay, we should be sure and include that in the schedule that we're preparing to get public.
We have local route tomorrow. Sherry is the one now who's giving all that information to us, so she can pass it on.
Good.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Thanks, Fred. And yesterday I took the Legion Ladies Group on a tour and we went down to Dorothy. And it is amazing what they've accomplished down there. They've got the roof on the elevator, they got doors on the elevator. They're, it's going to be totally, restored basically to where it was. It was cheaper to restore it than it was to demolish it.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Yes.
They have a little museum in the town. They got a church and a house and a couple of houses actually, and it is amazing. Like we spent 2 hours there. We thought, we're going to stop at Dorothy. We'll get a couple of pictures and we'll be on the road. Over 2 hours we spent.
It's a really small committee and they are so determined to keep Dorothy alive. I'm just tickled pink to see what they've done.
The history is amazing. They've got in the community hall, hall, they got all the pictures of all the original families and stuff. It's just amazing. Like the amount of effort that they put into it. It's definitely.
Do they have plans to use the elevator? There's some sort of venue or not?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more just a tourist attraction and maybe photo shoot.
yeah, that's what it, I think the special areas wrote there on there, right up. It's where the state fenced in. helps keep people,
Then
It's a cool
yeah,
little ghost.
and stuff.
Perfect.
Sandra?
Anything else?
Are you good? Yeah.
I do have a report, but, I didn't put it in the package. So, yeah, my apologies for not attending the Kitty's Corner, meeting. I would have otherwise, but I did have a Chamber of Commerce strategy meeting that night. And then I also attended the AB Alberta Uni's webinar, Bill 50 update on some changes. On the 2nd of April, I attended the AHS Refocusing Healthcare in Alberta Public Engagement. And that is sort of a second session of interested parties that want to provide some input into our healthcare and what seems to be concerns for us. And our concerns range from treatment of patients seeking emergency care, wait times, availability of doctors and nurses in rural areas, retention and reviewing rural hospitals for possibilities of taking some weight off hospitals in more populated areas. And I have a correction to make in my notes regarding the changes in the tax rate was for a decrease, and I indicated an increase. So my apologies. Thank you.
Just a little bit on CF Meridian, which we all know is based out of Kindersley, Saskatchewan. I know it always seems weird, and I have lots of people say to me, why aren't we a part of Drumheller? But we are a part of that region, which is part of Saskatchewan and Alberta. Our CEO, Lori Fetter, has asked if there's any community events that we know of as a council that she could use to advise or promote CF Meridian in the region. She'd gladly like to know about that so we can get the word out there that we're providing more and more loans to new businesses and young entrepreneurs in this region, more so than we ever had before. Right now, we have had 4 board members for the 4 years that I've been on there. We have 7 zones. At this time, we have 7 or 9 zones. We have 7 of those 9 zones filled with a director to date. So our new CEO has done a lot of good work with this organization since she's come to the fold last February 1st. We've just hired a new BDO, which is a business director, Corey Harkness. He's working with 3 other community futures, and he's also going to work with ours too. So if you're ever looking for a loan and you don't have an opportunity elsewhere, please remember Community Futures. They do a lot of good work, and I was just had the opportunity. I won this trip to go to St. John's, Newfoundland for the past week here, and it was for Community Futures. They had it was their national assembly, and out of 267 boards across Canada, 230 boards were represented there with over 900 individuals that actually participated. It's the biggest CF conference they've ever had. So it was pretty impressive to take it to that part of the world and do all the things that they did do there. So anyhow, I guess I just want to give a little bit of plug for CF. We are like a bank. We don't compete with the banks. We try to tell people, go to the bank first. If you can't get your loan there, we'd be happy to, entertain the opportunity to provide a loan for individuals or businesses in our communities. So, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hi.
No, I've got nothing else to add. We had the discussion on the Kitty's Corner meeting. I've got nothing else. Your deputy worship.
You did it right.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add, Mr. Deputy Mayor. There you go.
Council accepts the council reports for information. Good. All in favor? Carried. Under correspondence, we have a letter from ATCO Electric 2024 franchise report. Anybody got any questions on it? If not, the council accepts correspondence item 7.
I'm sorry, this probably doesn't cut into correspondence, but well, maybe just, Minister MacIver, resigned and was just appointed, Speaker of the House. Yeah.
Yes.
So I know I really liked, hearing him at the meetings and such and conferences. So look forward to the new one. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, that was a shocker in the news this morning.
Yeah, I heard that he resigned,
Yeah.
submitted his resignation, and then later on in the day, then heard that he was
Yeah,
voted for.
yeah,
Speaker
the
of the
day
House.
before, or the night before he resigned.
Yeah,
So this was in the bag somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah,
in the works.
exactly.
So,
No, congratulations.
okay, the council accepts correspondence item 12:01. And that's Sandra Logan. And we'll do the Brownlee LLP orientation of 2025. If not, the council accepts correspondence item 12.02 for information.
So can we commit future council to like an evening meeting or something, to get a 6 hour all-nighter
Like, I
for
think
their
that
training?
there is the, what's the course called that all councillors have to do, the 101? Yeah. I think this is on top of that, so, I guess it's, a paid service that they offer, so if you thought there were value in it, then we could look into booking that for after the election.
I don't care. Cause I'm not ready.
So you want to make that a motion?
I have no say on
I guess you have to determine whether, each of your counselors in the next election, they have to commit at one or the other, and then if they can't, then in the past, there has been councils that have done it as a cohort. And is that not what this is about as well?
This would be like I think the other one you do online on your own or in a group. But this would be all the councillors together, like our councillors.
Yeah.
In the
So-
past, in years gone by.
Well, they started doing that.
You were able to book and bring Alberta Munis in to do a session, because I know we did that a few times with councillors and senior administration. And it was like a 2-day thing, I think. I'm looking to Alana because she would have been involved in days gone by.
You guys went to Drumheller.
Right
Is
now
that
they've
not correct?
gone, yeah, and 1 year.
It's almost sort of like the school division.
Cause it's
Now they've
mandatory
gone
now.
Now
Because
it's
I-
mandatory.
Yes, because part one is virtual, you were right, but then part two. You can do it individually or you can do it as a group.
Yeah,
I don't know if the cost is,
I guess for you guys, you could think if that course prepared you well for being a councillor, or if you think that
I mean, it
course,
was necessary, but you could do 6
yeah,
more.
or
Yeah.
if you think that this, whether you're on council or not, if there's going to be new councillors, would be get them, rocking and rolling quicker, right?
get hurt by any means. But I think, I like the idea of having information for people considering on running, having it there so it's available, so they know what they're getting into. Some
Yeah.
people have no idea that they're appointed to committees and that they have an obligation. It's
Yeah,
not
and a
just-
few
yeah.
municipalities are running things like that, so that people are aware of what they can and can't do.
Mhm.
But it's if you see value in this to get that next council ready to go.
So we have somebody make a motion on that letter?
I guess my question is this, are we in the position to make this? We're not.
No, this is after the
Yeah,
election.
so
This is
It's just
This
asking
is
for the
what's-
motion to accept the piece of correspondence.
Well, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
you
I'm
can-
sorry, I apologize, I'm sorry, I thought.
The new council won't have time to book this.
Yeah.
That's why they've sent it out now. So
Right,
you're
it's
making a
right
decision
after
for the,
election, right?
you're making that decision for them is like, after the election is the fall convention, so
Yeah.
you'll be making this decision of how many councils go to that, right?
I think administration should have more say in that than anything, because the more information they have, the more. Well, it kind of makes it easier to explain things, I'm going for administration, but.
I think the learning opportunity is invaluable. I think as new counselors, to understand the whole governance model, is a bit of an uphill climb in and of itself. So I think any opportunity for learning and understanding the position of the role of municipal council add some kind of value. I'm not sure about bringing in what the cost of this is, but, in the same regard, I mean, there might be opportunity too, if at the point, at the time that you have the new council in place, that they may decline to participate. And at that point in time, do they have, is that an opportunity?
Well, they
say
will
they
have to
don't
do,
it?
they'll have to do either
Do
that
what-
or the,
But I thought they started offering it right before the conference too, for the day or two.
Couple of days ahead of pre-conference.
Yeah, which I mean, we can't possibly schedule somebody else's stuff. I mean, right after the election is always pretty wild, but.
But it should be.
but that could be in the packages that are sent out to people too, right? You
Yeah,
get an if you're elected, you will have a meeting on November 1st from 9 till 11.
Get everyone burning their
So
holiday.
can I have somebody make motion to accept this as
Sure.
information?
It's in-
Send the vote. Is all in favor? Carried. Do we have anything for a closed session?
No.
No. Good. We have somebody want to make a motion to
Or
adjourn?
use your power and just call it.
1911. All this.
7-Eleven, boy, that was fun.
7-11.
We're still all